After playing about 10 different rogue builds in Season 10 so far, I think I am qualified to tell you why I think Flurry is definitely the best one and the one that I would recommend to you. First of all, it's extremely easy to gear for, and there are so many incredibly impactful aspects for this build. We're talking encircling blades and breakneck bandits that boost Flurry's damage by a lot, whilst also making it a huge AoE and stunning everything you hit. I mean, come on. We have Stolen Vigor because this is a momentum build that not only gives us a lot of damage for being a regular aspect, but it also provides unstoppable. And don't get me started on the Flurry unique helm. It's a defensive slot that more than doubles our damage, and it just happens to be a chaos armor in Season 10, making it even more powerful. And if that wasn't enough, thanks to the Flurry helm, we're now spending life instead of energy, allowing us to take advantage of the dark dance aspect on our amulet for 120% more damage. But wait, there's more. Not every build can take advantage of the Season 10 perks like the Flurry can. We have Enervated Strikes, of course, for the 150% core damage, and Power Siphon for another 100% damage. Since we don't care about our resources, we're spending life, remember? Now, all of those things that I just mentioned are pretty easy to get your hands on. We're not talking mythic items, we're not talking triple masterworking, getting lucky, grinding for weeks. No, these are things that are achievable in your first 10 hours of playing the game. And if you tick all the boxes of the things I just mentioned, you have enough damage to cruise through tier 4 content. All this to say that Flurry comes online, I think, easier than any other rogue build right now. But we don't just have a bunch of damage. This build is unbelievably fast. When we swap over from Advanced Flurry over to Improved Flurry, Flurry now gets the mobility tag as well, and it's basically teleporting to every target that we click on. This also enables us to take advantage of the Money rune, which generates a lot of offering whenever we cast a mobility skill, which Flurry now is one. And if you happen to get your hands on a Jaw rune, now you have 3 or 4 different ways to dash and teleport around, making you truly feel like the Flash. And not only is our mobility absolutely insane in this build, but check out our single target here on Belial. I mean, what I absolutely love about this build is that I can go from pit pushing and bossing to speed farming variant with just like 5 clicks. I don't even have to use the armory because it's just faster to change it manually. So for Flurry, it's speed farming, pit pushing, and bossing. Speed farming meaning hordes, tier 4 content, hell tides, nightmare dungeons, pit tiers that you can clear in under 2-3 minutes. When you're pushing higher pits and trying to upgrade your glyphs, it can be worth using Advanced Flurry for that 30% increased damage. On top of that simple skill change, the only other thing I changed between speed farming and pit pushing is the rune word here. So you see Money Jaw when we want the mobility, but the simple change I do is I put in a Tam rune, so whenever we cast Flurry, we generate offering. And for higher pit tiers, it's so nice to have a Cry rune where you pull everything together. So I run Temp Cry and Sir Thul to freeze everything. If you're struggling with bosses specifically, you don't use Cry rune, it doesn't add any damage. You can put in an Om rune, for example. Now, I'm about to showcase some gameplay in a tier 100, but before I do, I want to tell you about some tips and tricks that I personally do that I don't necessarily put in my max roll written guide. I don't actually use the Mott rune, like in my written guide on max roll. The Mott rune is here because it just automates your gameplay. You generate the Dark Shroud shadows around you for free. But if you want to squeeze out a little more damage, you can just remove Shadow Step and put Dark Shroud on your bar, and then you don't need to put Mott rune on, allowing us to run pure damage. Alright, now I want to show you the damage dealing kind of pit pushing version. It's making us a little bit slower. We don't have the teleportation with dash, but we don't really need it because a lot of it's standing still hitting these elites. But as you can see, they all die within the freeze window. And some people complain about the AoE of Flurry, but you know, right now we're running the Cry rune, and pulls everything together pretty neatly for us, as you can see. And another thing with this build is that we're obviously using, like a lot of rogue builds, the Shadow Clone. And you should know that the Shadow Clone deals more damage than we ourselves do. So if there's a big group of enemies and your clones off to the side, you'll notice your damage kind of disappears for a moment. And that's why Cry rune is even more valuable, because if everything's in one big pile, the chances are your clone is off to the to the side doing, you know, God knows what. Is way less likely when he only has kind of one place to stand to hit anything. So that's why Cry rune gets even more value in this build. And it might feel scary to, you know, have low life in this season with the Marred Guard and Beast Cornered, but I feel like I don't even remember last time I died with this build, because we're permanently unstoppable, and we have Dark Shroud for damage reduction, we have Preparation, Shadow Clone, we have Momentum. So many sources of damage reduction that even like the Lilith explosions from the pit bosses, or yeah, all the big hitting effects from elite affixes and stuff like that, they don't even one-shot me if I have Remembering, of course, to have Dark Shroud shadows. These 5 things you see circling around me, they have to be at least 4 or 5 at all times. Especially if you're running it manually like I am on the bar. Make sure you remember to click it as often as possible to ensure that you not only stay alive, but because all of our items are having the damage per Dark Shroud shadow temper as well, it's extremely important to maintain that. Which is why in my max roll guide I have the Mott rune. In normal, typical seasons of Diablo, we just run the Umbrous aspect on a defensive slot, and that essentially solves it automatically for us as well. But in this season, because of the Chaos Armor taking up all of our utility and defensive slots, we really can't really afford to run an Umbrous aspect. It's too much of a... You're basically halving our damage just for some comfort. I mean, of course, for speed farming, that is a great idea. And that is the thing I would mention. If you don't have Mythics or Chaos Armor yet, that's actually fine. This build thrives early on because you can temper Flurry size. And when you have like 5 items with Flurry size, your Flurry covers the whole screen. You don't even need Cry Rune at that point. You can't really miss your target. So here you see a 3-minute Pit Tier 100. This boss, can we kill him in 1 stagger? So close. Boom, 1 stagger, let's go! So there you have it. This is the Flurry build. Let me quickly walk through my gear. You can just see what I have, but for more context, just go to the link in the description on YouTube, or just go to the max roll guide, and you can see all the details and up-to-date things, because I might, there might be discoveries or patch notes that Blizzard dropped that could potentially change a thing here or there. So if you stay up to date on the max roll link, you'll see the latest version at all times. Because obviously this is a video, and videos, they don't always age well. But hopefully you've enjoyed this build. And just so you know, I make rogue guides every single season. If you like guides like this, make sure you subscribe as well.